My name is Stevie Davies, and The Party Wall, here it is my 14th novel. Like most of us, I've lived all my life alongside party walls, in flats or terraces or semis, where you can't really help overhearing your neighbours' comings and goings. And maybe you hear arguments or you hear muffled laughter and you wonder what's amusing people. You hear babies crying or barking dogs or slammed doors or sometimes just really violent rows. And for a moment on your side of the party wall, you go rather quiet and still. And sometimes you wonder if you ought to call the police. And your house becomes a kind of echo chamber. And then it goes quiet and that's it. You stop thinking about it or becoming conscious that you are living so close to your neighbours. And if you stop to think about it, how really strange it is that we live our lives side by side and maybe just a few meters apart, hidden, but throwing out unconscious clues. How little we know each other's inmost hearts, and maybe also, or especially, our own hearts. My lovely husband used to say, if you want to know me, come and live with me, which I think sums it up really. I sometimes imagined all the walls of a terrace turned to glass and there we'd be revealed in our most private and probably embarrassing functions and activities. And it occurs to me that maybe a novel functions a bit like those glass partitions, revealing what is intimately concealed. And for the novelist, the membrane between people's lives and people's inmost characters is porous, and the novelist can enter and become imaginatively the stranger behind the wall. Well, I've been told that The Party Wall is a slow-burning and suspenseful psychological thriller. And the odd thing is I didn't intend it as a thriller and didn't even think I could write one. Because I suppose characterization to me is everything, especially the conflicts and the inconsistencies within a character. But I hope that the novel, beyond its thrilling elements, is alive with dark humour and permeated with tenderness and pathos. The situation is that one late spring, a widower, Mark Hayward, a highly cultured man, and he always likes to think about himself as Dr. Mark Hayward, a very complex character, needy, grieving, and just possibly predatory, seeking to escape his past, moves into a terraced house in South Wales. And next door, just through the wall, a really lovely man, a local artist, Keir Fox, is dying, tended by his beloved wife, Freya. Freya is a strong, radical, interesting woman, but made vulnerable by loss and bereavement. The walls seem to be very thin in this terrace. And if you listen in, as Mark finds, you can hear a great deal. Now, Mark would never call this snooping or eavesdropping. He'd call it probably something like neighbourly empathy. And the novel twists together the lives of the inhabitants of the terrace in a bittersweet dance, which threatens to become a dance of death. So if I just read from the opening, perhaps imagine Mark in bed, the wall, the artist dying, and Freya, his wife, on the other side, all probably within a couple of meters of one another. He nursed the wall, propped against pillows, attuned to every reverberation. At first, Mark had whiled away the time with a book. Gradually, he left off reading and immersed himself in this quiet act of witness. Strangely, the vigil had no power to bore him. Concentration remained deep and constant as he listened out or listened in for his neighbour. Whatever I can do for Freya, I'll gladly and honourably do, he told himself, grateful for the calm intentness of his spirit. She schooled him. She made him a better person. There was an overarching sense of forgiveness. Not that there was anything Mark should be forgiven for. He brought lunch upstairs on a tray and ate cross-legged on his bed to be near to her. Next door's dog broke the trance with a desolation of baying, very near at hand. There was a shriek of storm. No, get down. Mark started back from the reverberation. Soup slopped onto the tray. He disliked mess and would not normally eat in bed. Everything was in process of change. Dogs know, Mark thought. Dogs smell the death in house. But not even the damp snout of a dog can nose out the presence of a person through a wall. Freya's bedroom door clicked. Animal feet skittered down the fox's stairs. She was locking Storm into the kitchen. Out on the landing, in his socked feet, Mark detected her footsteps. Padding back upstairs, as Freya re-entered her bedroom, Mark returned to his. It was the rhythm of their lives. His sole desire was to be close to Freya and open to her. Imagine if this wall was suddenly drawn up like a stage curtain. It would be revealed that he and she were face to face, a metre apart perhaps, gazing into one another's amazed eyes. His sympathy would flow out to meet her suffering, and Freya would know for sure that she was not alone and never would be. One wished Keir Fox gone, but not for selfish reasons. Prolonging the man's life was extending his suffering and her suffering, and for that reason, my suffering, he thought. The bottom line, Mark would do anything for Freya, except leave off loving and watching over her. Thank you.